Hello everyone and welcome back to the second part of this ranking video that is looking to rank pretty much every Pokemon in the lead up to Legends Z-A. Last time we looked at Generation 1 with some admittedly rather controversial picks. So we're going to move on to Gen 2, which should hopefully be less controversial, but mainly because this is a generation that I adore, so there's going to be like a lot higher up. I don't even know if I'm going to need F or E at all, but we will see. Why is it E and not D? Let's sort that out right now. Maybe D. Just saw it and I thought, that's not right. There we go, D. Okay, well, let's not waste any time, let's get cracking straight into this. Now, the starters, I think, are all S tier. I think they're all fantastic. I think Totodile is the best of the bunch because he's cute as a button, but I really like all of them. They're all fantastic. I think they're better than any of their final forms as well, which maybe is a little bit more controversial, but I think they're certainly up there. Bayleaf, I love. Like, I really like Bayleaf. Mainly because of the anime, to be honest, because in the anime it goes Bayleaf and has this really kind of derpy voice, and it's just so adorable. I love it. Moving on to Quilava. Quilava is a little bit disappointing. He's cute, he's fine, he's going to go high up in A, but not much higher. Whereas this fella, yeah, Croconaur's not going to go all that high. I don't like his caveman costume, to be honest. I don't like it. I mean, I still think he's relatively solid, so I'm not going to place him in B, I don't think. No, actually, sorry, let's stick him in B. I like him, he's not bad, it's just not for me. When it comes to final evolutions, well, I think Feraligatr is high up. I'm going to stick him above the star evolutions. Not Quillaris, Typhlosion rather. He's cool, but I'm going to place Bayleaf above him. And I like Meganium the least, but I still think it's a top tier design, so he's going to play. Sentra used to be my favourite Pokemon until another Pokemon came through, which is Furt. So Furt is going to be tippity top and Sentra just behind. Already with our SF, I realise that I really do love this generation. Okay, Hootoo. This one, I like the design. Yeah, I like the design. And I think it's solid as a starting bird Pokemon. I like the fact that it looks like it's got one leg and then it just kind of opens up into two. And it's red eyes. I don't think it's going to go very highly in A, but I think it's still an A rank. Noctowl I do like, and I would say is better than the other two in there. So I'm going to stick that at the top. I don't think it's an S rank, but it's still decent. Ladybar is just a ladybug. It goes in C. Ledian, on the other hand, I quite like. I like how it has all the elemental punches. I don't love it. I think it's not going to go highly in it, but I still think it's pretty solid. I like its sort of superhero mask type of look to it as well. It's not a particularly good Pokemon. Could do with a Mega, to be honest. I very much doubt it's going to get a Mega, but it could do with one. Like a Mega just to soup it up. I think it's sort of like Beedrill, where I like it a lot, but it needs a Mega to become like awesome. Now, the two spiders. I like it, I think I'm going to put it in B. Whoa, don't scroll down. I think I'm going to put it in B, to be honest. It's solid. I mean, it's just a spider, but like the eyes and stuff on it. I mean, it's similar to like actual spiders, I suppose. But yeah, I like it a relative amount, so I'm gonna stick it in B, but it probably should be in C. Whereas this fella, he's cool. He's gonna go in A. similar to Ledian. He's one of those Pokemon that I don't think's good, but I like him. He's probably more useful than Ledian. But Arianos, I'd probably put... If I had to choose between the two, I would probably choose Ledian. Yeah, that seems about right. Right, Crobat. Crobat is one of those Pokemon that's always in my team. I try for it not to be, but it always ends up being there. And it turns a Pokemon that's fine in the first generation, with a sort of disappointing evolution, into a Pokemon that's like so good. Like, it's ridiculously good, is Crobat. They really did a brilliant turnaround with Zubat. Okay. Chinchou. He's not my favourite design. I don't think I'm going to stick him in D. I'm just going to stick him in C. I don't think he's exciting. He's kind of cute, so maybe above Ladybug. But I'm not sticking him in B. Lantern is a Pokemon that I've never really jived with. He's solid. I do try and use him now and then. But I think B is fine. Yeah, maybe in the middle of those two. Okay, we have the baby Pokemon. In fact, I'm gonna... Where are the other baby Pokemon? They're further down that way. Okay, I can't do the other baby Pokemon yet. Never mind. I suppose I can. Right, Pichu I think is like really good. I think Pichu is almost as good as Pikachu in terms of design, and I think in terms of getting baby Pokemon across, Pichu is like the man. It's just a shame that none of the others really live up to that, apart from Togepi, which is cute as a button and iconic in the series. I'm going to stick him after for Alligator. These little tots. Right, Cleffa, I don't really like. I think their design's fine for a baby Pokemon. The problem is, it's not like in Gen 4, you had the extra evolution stages beyond that, and same with like Crobat. But I think going for a generation under, it's a hard case to make. It's a hard case to make, and I think that's the main problem with the baby Pokemon in Gen 2. And I like pretty much all of their designs, but I would rather just catch the regular Pokemon. So I think I'm going to place these like in the bottom of C. I like the designs, but I wouldn't ever go for them. Togetic. Now, Togetic I think is a disappointing evolution from Togepi. You sort of see it, like you see like the top of the head with the little spikes and stuff, and then its little neck comes out with its tiny little head. So I see it, it's a sort of understandable evolution, but I don't like it so much. Togekiss I like a lot, but Togetic, it's alright. Like as a Pokemon I like it, but as a design, it's alright. I think I'm going to place it right at the top of B. Natu and Xatu, however, like Natu is a great bird Pokemon, because unlike Hoothoot, which very much looks like an owl, and like Pidgey, which very much looks like a pigeon, Natu seems kinda unique. It's basically just like the head and like tiny little legs. It's really interesting. I think that Natu and Xatu are probably going to go high up in here. They're not fantastic Pokemon, but I do enjoy getting them. They're a bit out of the way, but I think they're still pretty good. Okie dokie, we have Mareep. Mareep is top tier. He is a legend. Not got the most interesting design, I mean it's just a sheep with like the electrical stuff. So I don't think I'm going to place him behind Pichu. It's still pretty heavy. Fluffy, I think, is a little bit worse. I see why they need it, because it's a sort of a middle ground between Mareep and Ampharos. but I don't love the design. I'm going to stick it down here. It's solid, but yeah. Ampharos though is like top tier. I would say Ampharos would go after Meganium. I do like Meganium. So it's going to be S rank, just not amazingly high. Bellossom. I like Bellossom a lot more than Vileplume, and I think it's genuinely great. She's very kind of grass oriented though. I think a lot of the moves are sort of grass, and that makes her a little bit less useful. I would probably still use her more than a Noctowl, but I'm going to stick her there. I like the design, and I would probably use it even if she's not that useful. Right. Azurill and Azumarill. Great Pokemon. I always forget that Azumarill is this generation. But it's the baby Pokemon they added later. Right, Azurill, which is Pika Blue, is cute as hell. I think I'm going to stick it in here. And I'm going to stick it right here. Azumarill is a genuinely good Pokemon, not too fond of like the little spots and stuff on its chest, so I'm not going to put it in S, but I will put it relatively highly. I'm going to put it above Bellossom. Sudowoodo. I use a Sudowoodo quite a lot, and I really like the design, and I really like the name, because it's Sudowoodo, which is like pseudo wood, which means it's not wood, it's actually a rock Pokemon instead of a grass Pokemon, which I think is quite clever. And I'm going to be quite controversial and place this really highly because I did like it. I think I'm going to place it right there. I think that's a good spot. I think that is a good spot. Togepi is iconic. Feraligatr is just an absolute beast. And yeah, Sudowoodo's really good, but it doesn't quite reach that level. Okay, Politoed, another cross evolution. Right, so instead of getting Poliwrath, we can get Politoed, which I like a lot better than Poliwrath. I do not think that it is an S rank, but it's still pretty cool. I would say right there. Right, Hoppip. Maybe controversial, but I really like the Hoppip line. I think they're really cool. Hoppip, I think, is really neat as a Pokemon. But where do I place it? I don't think it deserves an S rank, but I'm going to place it higher than Xatu. I really like it. Jumpluff, I am going to place in S because I place your man there because I almost always get a Jumpluff, which means that this must rate quite highly. But where do I rank it? Higher than Feraligatr? Nah. Higher than Sudowoodo? Yeah. Higher than Togepi? I think so. Skiploom though, I hate it. I think it's a terrible middle design. I still think it's quite useful as a Pokemon, and it's quite interesting, and I still don't mind using it, but I'm not placing it anywhere near the other two. Apom. Right, Apom is one of those cute little monkeys that is great, but you're thinking more of Ambipom when you think of Apom. Like, Apom himself is pretty useless, and I think that's what holds him back. He's got a good design, I'm not against using him, and for that I think I'm going to place him down here, but I'm going to place him below most of the others. Mainly because he's got a cool design, but unlike some of these, I wouldn't use him. Sunken? A lot of people don't like it. I think it's alright. I don't hate it. It's useless as a Pokemon, but I like the design. I'm going to stick it right here. So it's sort of like the opposite of Fluffy, really. I hate the design, but like using it, this is like sort of the opposite. Sunflora though. Oh, sugar! I said Blossom was a cross evolution. Blossom is a cross evolution, but then no. Yeah, Blossom is a cross evolution instead of Vileplume. I always mix these up. But yes, Sunflora. I always think Sunflora and Blossom are sort of related, but they're not. Sunflora is cool. I like it. It's not an S-rank Pokemon, and it's. I think if I had to choose between the two, I probably would choose a Sunflora because he's got a cute, happy little face. I think I would. Like he's terrible as a Pokemon, as an actual Pokemon to use, but I think he's cool. I think it's cool. I would use one in like a casual playthrough. Yanma suffers from, the same problem as Aipom. He's a cool Pokemon, but pretty useless. So much so that I would be unlikely to use him as much as the others. I'd place him in high B. I think he's a cool design, and I may use him. But if I think about it, like I'd probably use him if I knew I was going to get a Yanmega at the end of it. But just for Yanma, maybe for the memes. But right, Wooper. Wooper is absolute S tier. He's a really cool design. I think he's cuter than Fluffy, but Pichu is more iconic. Quagsire is really good. This is going to be controversial as hell. Quagsire is a great Pokemon to use, and I don't hate the design, but there's something about his face that I don't like. It's just his, and I don't know, like the shape of him. I can't say I dislike the design. I do like the design. I just don't love it. And he's a really useful Pokemon. I don't want to put him in S, but I'm going to put him at the tip top of there. Espeon is definitely S. That's like one of the best evolutions. In fact, it's probably my favourite evolution. I would go so far as to ranking it above Centra. I think I would prefer it over Centra. Umbreon, I like the design, but I don't like it as a Pokemon to use. I think from a casual playthrough, its moves, they're designed to be defensive, shall we say. So it's good as a competitive Pokemon, where you're actually kind of using it as a way to assist your team and play a certain role. With Toxic and the like, but as an offensive Pokemon, I don't think he's that great to use. But I really like the design. I'm going to place him in A, and I'm going to place him relatively highly, because I do like using him. But I think I like Xatu more. Murkrow is cool. And I would use him, even though he's not great. Similar to, like, Aipom and stuff, he's... yeah, he suffers from not having that evolution that he doesn't get till Gen 4. Which we have with another one coming up as well. Do I like him more than Aipom? Absolutely, and he can still be quite vicious. So I would probably use him, just not as much as Noctowl. And Miss Dreevers I really like, but again suffers from not having Miss Magius. So I would definitely use it. And would I use it more than Xatu? Probably not, because I think Miss Dreevers will get replaced. Miss Dreevers will get replaced, Xatu wouldn't. I'll replace her right there. So King, he's cool. I like him. He's not as good as Slowbro, and he can be a bit of a pain to get a hold of, so I'm going to put him in A, just not extremely high. I think sticking him with the water guys would be good, and I'll stick him right in the middle. Unknown, I love the idea of Unknown. I love it. I love the alphabet. I love the mystery and the little temple. It's such a shame that it's a load of garbage. It does get better. It does get better in Legends Arceus, and I sort of hope that he's in Legends Z-A, although I'm guessing it won't be, because they did the whole Unknown thing. But they did a thing where it sort of works like Proteon, where, well, hidden power changes type depending on the weakness of the other Pokemon, which is a cool idea. I like that a lot, and it makes it more effective. And I would say I would probably use an Unknown until it becomes useless. And I think it's an iconic Pokemon. So it has more utility than these guys, but I think that in terms of utility, Ampharos is better, so I can't place it higher. But I still think it's, like, superb. Wobblefoot, I really like. I really, really like Wobblefoot. It's a pain in the ass Pokemon, especially, you know, once you introduce abilities and you can't escape. But I think it's a really cool Pokemon. It's one of those gimmick Pokemon, but it's a cool gimmick. I would... Oh, I was going to place it here because it's not that useful. But I think this is a case of where the anime sort of improves it. Like, Jesse's Wobblefoot is amazing. I'm going to stick it like above... I'm going to stick it above Togepi. I'm going to stick it above Togepi. I hate the female version. I will say that. The female version with the lipstick looks stupid. Like, absolutely stupid. But the regular one's cool. The male one's cool. Right, Girafarig. Stupid name. Not a fantastic Pokemon, but I would still use it. I reckon it's going to be in A, but where do I put him? I would probably put him right here. Not amazingly high, not amazingly low. Somewhere in the middle. Okay, right. Before we move on to that, let's do Fortress. He's cool. I like the idea, but I think he suffers from Umbreon, where he's like super defensive, so even though I like using him, I would probably replace him just because it's tedious to use. But he's cool. I'm going to place him around this area, below Umbreon, because I don't like his design as much. I would place it maybe here. Pineco. I mean, it's just a pinecone, really. It's a pinecone with eyes. Yeah, I think that's alright. Yeah, I think that's alright. Dunsparce! Dunsparce is cool! I like Dunsparce. Everyone likes Dunsparce. Apart from the people who don't. I'm not going to put him really high, but I'm going to put him relatively high. Nice, I'm going to stick him right along. Like, I wouldn't rush to use him. I would definitely use him. I don't think he has a cute factor as like these guys, nor that kind of charm which would get me to use Unknown, and I don't think he has the utility of the ones higher up. So I think down at the bottom, but he's still in S, so that's pretty good. Gligar is pretty solid. He's not amazing, but he suffers from not having the evolution again. I would still use him. I think I would probably place him just a little bit higher than Dunsparce. Felix! Fantastic Pokemon locked behind a trade evolution. Which sucks. But we're gonna ignore the trade evolution. Oh no, are we gonna? Well, in my Pokemon Crystal Plus ROM hack, you can evolve it. And in that case, I would use him. But in the regular game where you have to trade, I can't do that, so I wouldn't. So what do I do? I think the fact is the trade evolution has to put him down here. Somewhere. He's still really good. He makes Onix a lot better as well. I think because he's a trade evolution, I'm going to stick him below, but then there's Slowking. I think Slowking's a trade evolution as well. Yeah, I think he is about right. That feels right. Right, Snubbull! Snubbull is cute. I like Snubbull. He's not amazing, but he's cute. I like Natu more. I like Murkrow more. Quilava more. I would probably place him around here. Gramble is awesome. I'm going to place it just above Quagsire. Am I even going to put Gramble in S? I think I might be. Gramble I do use quite often. I think it's really cool. I think now as well with the fairy typing it's a lot better. But it's cool. I'm going to place it here. Doesn't quite have the Q factor as some of the others. But I think that sounds about right. What have we got next? Quillfish. Quillfish. Quillfish I like the idea of, not very useful. I really like the design. Oh, hang on. I really like the design. So I am going to stick it in... Where's it gone? Just disappeared. It's trying to escape from me. Where have you gone? Oh, there it is in C. I'm going to stick it right at the top of B. Skyzor, S rank. S rank, no doubt. Where in S rank? Highly. You got the trade evolution holding it back, so I think that's going to stop it going above some of the other Pokemon, but it's still awesome. Right. Shuckle. I like Shuckle. He's a very kind of memey Pokemon. I probably wouldn't use him because of the defensiveness, so he's probably going to be around here. I like the design. I'm going to stick him just above Umbreon. Heracross. Awesome. You're going in S. For sure. But whereabouts? I think you are going to go... right... here. I'm just thinking. Sky... yeah, okay, that sounds about right. Yeah, okay, that's good. I'm happy with that. Right. Sneasel. One of those... there's so many Pokemon like this generation, it's sad. There's Pokemon where it's like, oh yeah, they're cool, but they're better when they get a Generation 4 evolution. And I think Sneasel is a case like that. And he's Ice type as well, which hurts him. And he's Dark Ice, which is what sort of saves him a little bit. I am going to put him... here? That's alright. Pidgeotto! Cute. I like it. Q factor alone, you can go above pink or blue. Ursaring, I don't like so much. It's pretty decent and pretty useful, but I don't ever get enthusiastic about it. I think Ursaluna from Legends Arceus is actually pretty cool. Ursaring, Slugma. Slugma's cool. I like Slugma. He's cute. And not as cute as Quilava. And Magcargo, I like Magcargo. He's useless. He has a terrible typing. But like with Ledian, I would still use him. And I would in fact probably use him over Ledian. Even though he is crap. Right. Swinub. Cute. I'm gonna stick him right here. Piloswine. Actually a really good Pokemon. Not S rank, but pretty damn good. I'm gonna whack him there. Corsola. Corsola is like a better version of Quillfish. He's more useful, and he looks a lot better. This going in A. And I'm gonna stick it right there. Remoraid, it's just a fish, and a boring fish. Down you go. But Octillery is top tier. Octillery is very useful, very cool. How cool? I would say that cool. Delibird. I want to like Delibird, but he's pretty useless. I really like the design, so I'm going to stick him in A. And I would probably use him, but... I think I like the look of him more than Snubble. Right, Mantine. Again, sort of suffers from not having its evolution, so it's going to go a little bit lower. Where do I place it though? Probably wouldn't use it that much, to be honest. Maybe more likely than Apom, because it's not as cute, but maybe slightly more useful, but there's just better water Pokemon by that point. Yeah, there's better water Pokemon by that point. I'm going to stick him right at the bottom there. It's still A, but not amazing. Not amazing, but A. Right, Skarmory. Skarmory is a beast, one of my favourites. I like him a lot. In fact, I'm going to put him in second place. He is a beast. Right, Houndoom. He is also going in S. He is a literal beast. Whoop. How much of a beast? I would say he's that much of a beast. Yeah, that much of a beast. I like Bayleaf's design more, and yeah, Houndour, he's a cute little doggy. I'm going to stick him in here. I'm going to stick him... It's quite useful as well. I'm going to stick him... I like ghost types more than dark types, I'm going to stick him there. Kingdra. Kingdra is an absolute monster! Makes Seadra, which is already cool, into an absolute beast. I am going to place Kingdra very, very highly. It's a Pokemon I use a lot, whether it's this generation or other generations, and I think it's a really awesome design. Not as high as Espeon or Skarmory, but still pretty highly. Right, Donphan is a beast. You're going right to the top of A. Not an S rank, I don't think, but he's still cool. Phanpy's cute. How cute? I would say he's that cute. About that cute. If I had to determine the cuteness, he's that cute. Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is another really useful Pokemon. In fact, I'm going to place that one in S tier as well. He's really useful. I would use him a lot. He doesn't get me as excited as the ones on the first line, so I'll place him at the top of the second. Right, Stantler. He's decent. I don't know if I would use him as a Pokemon. I probably would do to knock up the variety. He's got a relatively solid design. I'd say bottom there. Smeargle. I like the design, but his gimmick is annoying as hell. Like, it's one of those Pokemon where you can put any move on him. And because of that, he can be really useful, even with his rubbish stats. And I really like the design, but would I use him? Probably not. I'm going to stick him in here, and I'm going to stick him right at the bottom. Just because I really like the design, I would use him if it's like in a competitive team where I put something really decent on him. But as a casual playthrough, I would probably ignore his existence. Except if I wanted to try something different. Let's place him behind Delibird. I would probably still use him a bit, so let's stick him a little bit higher. Right, baby Pokemon. Tyrogue is one of the better baby Pokemon, but not fantastic. I'm going to stick him at the top of B. Hitmontop. I don't like the Hitmontine, but Hitmontop is probably my favourite. I don't like him as much as Tyrogue, but I would say I like him more than Ursaring. Right. More baby Pokemon. Right, I would say Elekid is a cute design. I'm going to stick him right at the bottom of B. Jinx or Smoochum is... It's sort of adorable, but I'd avoid it. Let's place it in C with all these baby Pokemon here. I would say in the middle of these two. That feels about right. Again, stupid head puts it off. I don't think it's necessarily terrible. It fits Magma, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Miltank! Miltank is a beast. I love fighting against it with Whitney. I love using it. I think it's a great Pokemon. I am going to place it here. I do really like Sentra. I don't want Sentra to go out of the top 5, to be honest, unless it really has to. I don't think Miltank deserves top 5 over Sentra, so I'll stick it there. Where am I going to stick you? Where am I going to stick you? I like Chansey a lot more. But it's fine. Stop a C. Stop a C. Stop a C is fine. Right. Legendaries. I'm gonna do these first. Right, let's do Larvitar, Pupitar, and what's his face? I think that's a really cool Pokemon. Not an S tier Pokemon, but still really good. I would try and get a hold of one. The problem is it comes really late in the game. Pupitar, I'll tell you what, even though it's a lava Pokemon like Metapod and stuff, I think its kind of spiky design makes it a bit more interesting. I am going to place it at the bottom of C. I'm not going to give it a D. In fact, let's get rid of these because the rest of them are definitely not Ds. Like, there's no Ds or Fs. That's how much I love Johto. There we go, got a little bit more room to play with now. Okie dokie. Ho-Oh is S rank, Lugia is S rank. And even though I temporarily forgot his name, I feel really bad. I love Johto, but yeah, I forgot his name briefly. But it's still cool. I would place him pretty high. Garchomp, innit? No, Garchomp's different, not a dude. No, God, it's so bad. I know you're going to comment down below saying what Pokemon it is, and I can't believe it's escaped me. He's really cool. I think I'm going to place him below Ampharos, but above Heracross, if I can. There we go. I think he's really good, but in a playthrough he comes right at the end of the game, more or less. And I think, or very close to the end of the game, and I think that by the time you've got him, you've almost beaten the game. And I think that makes him suffer somewhat. Ho-Oh is fantastic, iconic. I would probably stick it right here. Actually, am I going to stick it above the stars? I'm going to stick it above these stars. It seems a travesty to separate the stars, but Totodile is really cute, and I can see it pushing its way past these two, but the other, nah. Lugia I don't like as much. I don't like his wings. I think Lugia is cool. I don't like his wings. I would definitely use him though, so I'm going to place him right there. Okay, the legendary dogs. I think I'm going to stick... I think I'm going to stick him there. I'm going to stick... Suicune I don't enjoy using, to be honest. I think I'm going to stick these two in A. And Celebi's really cute. I never use because I never have the opportunity, but it's a cool legendary. Right, now let's order them. Entei. He is going to go. He's cool, but I probably wouldn't use him. But he's useful. I'm going to stick him above Ledian. Suicune is kinda cool, but I tend not to use him. In fact, I'd be more likely to use Entei. I'd be more likely to use Entei. And Ariados. Nah, I can't stick him. I can't stick him below Ariados. I'm going to stick him there. Right, Raikou. He's cool, I do like to use him. There seems about right. And Celebi is awesome. where if Celebi was earlier in the game, I would place it pretty highly, but because it's not, I would place it lower down. In terms of design, I think that pushes it up, and utility. I think here. I think there sounds good. I think there feels good. Yeah, that feels about right. So, I didn't even have to zoom out this time because they're all in like S, A, B or C. And obviously there's fewer of them, which also helps. So that is the definitive ranking of Gen 2 Pokemon. Do you disagree? Do you really love Blissey for whatever reason and wish it was in S? Do you really hate Furret? Which, in that case, you should unsubscribe because Furret's awesome. Even if you don't love it, you should still like it. Furret's amazing. But tell me what you think. Is there anything that's really, really wrong? Is there anything that you would put in S that I haven't? What would you put in your top 5, top 10, top 1? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow for Generation 3. That one is my least favourite generation, I think. That's going to be a fun one. Although, to be fair, even though it's my least favourite generation, I think the actual Pokemon are actually pretty good. So, there's that. See you then, folks. Bye-bye.